Hey Geometry, this is part 2 of our proportional parts. So now we're going to focus on the proportional parts with parallel lines. Okay, so we're going to focus on this part right here. All right, so short and sweet here. Here are the corollaries. So this is like an addition to theorems, just rules that we're going to use. So if AE is parallel to BF, which is parallel to CG, then we can say that those parts are proportional to each other. So AB over BC, that's proportional to EF over FG. So go ahead and pause the video and write this down. And then the second part is if three or more parallel lines cut off congruent segments. So if they're congruent, then we have congruent segments AB. If those are congruent, then we can assume, or we know that EF and FG are congruent as well. So again, pause the video as needed to write this down, and then we'll put this into practice. So an example would be here. Go ahead and draw this picture down. So we know that these two are congruent. Then we can say these two segments are also congruent to each other. So we're going to solve for x and we're going to solve for y. That's what the directions say. So I'm going to go ahead and set up 20 minus 5x is equal to 2x plus 6. I'm going to solve for x, so I'm going to add the 5x over. So I get 7x plus 6 is equal to 20. Subtract 6 over, so that's 14 is equal to 7x. So x is going to equal 2. All right. So since these two are congruent, we know that these two segments are going to be congruent as well because they're on the same parallel lines here, or same the other transversal that intersects the same parallel lines. So it's going to be y equals 3/5 y plus 2. I don't really like dealing with fractions, so in order to do that, get rid of that fraction, I just multiply by that denominator, and everybody gets multiplied by that denominator. We do this in Algebra 2 all the time. So that cancels out. So we have 5y is equal to 3y plus 10. Subtract the 3y over, so we get 2y equals 10. Y is equal to 5. Ta-da! Again, pause the video, rewind as needed. And let's move on to the next example. So here we go. We have two parallel lines. And again, we have congruent segments here, so therefore we know these two segments are congruent as well. And so we are going to find x and find y. We'll start with y first. So 2y plus 1 is equal to 5y minus 8. Pause the video and see if you can figure this out yourself. All right, this is what I got. I got y equals 3. Did you get the same thing? If not, go back and look at my work, see what you did wrong, see if you can figure out your mistake. And then, solving for x, we have 1/5 x plus 3 is equal to 4x minus 35. Again, I don't like dealing with fractions, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by that denominator to get rid of that fraction. And everybody needs to get multiplied by that denominator. So then I get x plus 15 is equal to 20x minus 175. I'm going to go ahead and add that 175 over. So I get x plus 190 is equal to 20x. Then I'm going to go ahead and subtract the x over, so I get 190 is equal to 19x. Divide by 19 on both sides, x is going to equal 10. So that's all I have for you. Very simple corollaries, rules that we are using with our parallel lines and proportional parts. Write down any questions that you may have, and we'll see you tomorrow.